I'm Adriano Ercolani, Cinema Daily US. First of all, John, thank you for the interview.
Hey, Adriano, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My first question is about how you develop your character, because I've seen you playing a fictional character in Jack Ryan. I've seen you playing a real character in Dopesick and in the Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. So do you have a different method, a different work method, or a different approach when you know there is a fictional character or when you have real informations?
Well, I think it's helpful to be able to look up sources and see the person that you are depicting navigate news interviews, for instance, as we saw with Kurt. But I also feel that I was very fortunate in this production because Kjsteinberg, our showrunner, and Amanda Knox gave me a lot of room to sort of create Kurt more as a role, as opposed to going for an impersonation of an actual living person. So I had a lot of room to sort of find the character in that way. But I had a lot of resources. As I mentioned, KJ worked tirelessly to research this project from every angle. Amanda was available to us, and I also had all of the news coverage from the time and Amanda's autobiography from 2012, waiting to be heard.
Absolutely. I particularly appreciated the work you did with Sharon Horgan in order to create this weird relationship between the two husband and wives, because you have to create the tension of two people that split, but then also that they have to be together in order to support their daughter. So how do you work in order to portray, let's call it a duality between Kurt and Edda?
Yeah, so it's an interesting relationship to sort of dig into when their union ends. Edda is pregnant with their second daughter, and Kurt, instead of moving across town or across the state or to another city altogether, gets a home like 3 blocks away so that he can still be involved in his daughter's lives. And for me, I thought that was a very telling decision for a man to have made at the end of a marriage, because there are so many different ways an individual can handle that situation. And I thought that the way that he handled that part of that situation was very admirable. And so it was no surprise when 17 years later, Amanda finds herself in this horrible situation in Italy that he leaps to her aid and is willing to kind of lose everything in order to be by his daughter throughout this horrible chapter. And the same is true, obviously, of Edda and Chris Mellis. So they are different individuals, they're different people, but they're both deeply committed to their children, and they both show up when it counts.
Absolutely. During the shooting, was there a scene that was particularly challenging? Maybe not on a physical level, but on an emotional level, a particularly challenging scene to shoot for you?
Well, interestingly enough, and it probably didn't appear this way, but one of the first scenes that we shot was when Kurt and Edda are, they see each other again in the series. They see each other again for the first time in years. I mean, they've seen one another at like soccer matches, but from opposite sides of the pitch. They don't have really any relationship to speak of, and now they have to work together. So there's a scene early on in the series where Kurt kind of shows up with his bags, and then there's Chris, played by Joe Lanza, and Edda, played by Sharon Horgan, and it was awkward. The entire scene was built to be awkward. It was awkward to shoot, but it was fun to investigate. It was fun to play it too.
No, I can tell you that scene is really good. The energy is so strange, but it's really powerful.
Good. I'm glad that came through.
My time is up. Thank you very much for the interview, John.
Thanks very much, Adriano. Nice to meet you.